I can't assure you, you're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure you on either of those two. But I can say this, we need them for economic security. The Panama Canal was built for our military. I'm not going to commit to that now. It might be that you'll have to do something. Look, the Panama Canal is vital to our country. It's being operated by China. China. And we gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China. And they've abused it. They've abused that gift. It should have never been made, by the way. Giving the Panama Canal is why Jimmy Carter lost the election, in my opinion, more so maybe than the hostages. The hostages were a big deal. But if you remember, and nobody wants to talk about the Panama Canal now because, you know, it's inappropriate, I guess, but because it's a bad part of the Carter legacy. But he was a good man. Look, he was a good man. I knew him a little bit, and he was a very fine person.
xQc
but that was a big mistake. Giving the Panama Canal to Panama was a very big mistake. We lost 38,000 people. It cost us the equivalent of $1 trillion, maybe more than that. Probably the most expensive. They say it was the most expensive structure.
To seize Greenland.
Less than 2 weeks before his inauguration.
Why the fuck
What is he talking about? Bro, just freestyle.
As U.S. President, Donald Trump.
Canal is vital.
Donald Trump is once again sworn in as the US president. This time around, he wants to use the power of his office to reshape the world in a way that puts America's, and only America's, interests first, threatening and warning other nations not to stand in his way.
Well, we can speak
to the Gulf of America, which has a beautiful ring that covers a lot of territory. The Gulf of America, what a beautiful name.
Joined by his special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, Donald Trump says there has...
I went back earlier.
And they've abused it.
And he announced a unilateral plan to completely rename the Gulf of Mexico.
We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to
xQc
the Gulf of America, which has a beautiful ring that covers a lot of territory. The Gulf of America, what a beautiful name.
Joined by his special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, Donald Trump says there has already been a lot of progress on efforts to release about 100 hostages held by Hamas in Gaza. He wants them freed before his inauguration in less than 2 weeks' time.
If those hostages aren't back, I don't want to hurt your negotiation. If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East. And it will not be good for Hamas. And it will not be good, frankly, for anyone. All hell will break out. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
In under a fortnight, history will repeat itself when Donald Trump is once again sworn in as the US president. This time around, he wants to use the power of his office to reshape the world in a way that puts America's, and only America's, interests first.
Yeah, but what is this? He's going to seize Greenland, what?
Russia is why Donald Trump wants to take control.
People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it. But if they do, they should give it up because we need it for national security. That's for the free world. I'm talking about protecting the free world.
In a very wide-ranging, freewheeling press conference, he listed all the countries that are in his sights.
And we want to get along with everybody, but, you know, they have to, it takes two to tango.
Revealing more of his global ambitions, he said he also wants control of the crucial shipping route to the Panama Canal.
Chad, what is Annex Canada? What does that mean?
If we were to work under the assumption that you're serious about making Canada a 51st state of the United States, the leader of the Conservative Party in Canada said, under no circumstance will it ever be the 51st state.
Maybe he won't win, but maybe he will. I don't.
You had suggested.
Listen, I don't care what he says.
Sir Lopez, you said you were considering military force to acquire Panama and Greenland. Are you also considering military force to annex and acquire Canada?
No, economic force, because Canada and the United States, that would really be something. You get rid of that artificially drawn line, and you take a look at what that looks like. And it would also be much better for national security.
Okay,
don't forget, we basically...
as the possible Prime Minister of Canada, I would settle to be America. We remove United States of America. We remove just Canada. We settle for America. Boom. Simple name, better brand, better logo, all that. Boom.
Protect Canada. But here's the problem with Canada. So many friends up there. I love the Canadian people. They're great. But we're spending hundreds of billions a year to protect it. We're spending hundreds of billions a year to take care of Canada. We lose in trade deficits. We're losing massive. We don't need their cars. You know, they make 20% of our cars. We don't need that. I'd rather make them in Detroit. We don't need the cars. We don't need their lumber. We have massive fields of lumber. We don't need their lumber. We have to unrestrict them because stupid people put, restrictions on, but I can do that with an executive order.
But they want the water and the oil. Hey, don't devalue Canada. We got fresh, nice water, good power, and we got nice oil. Sand oils, Alberta, whatever. I want all that. Stop acting like we got nothing. We also got the oil of the gods. And that comes from the trees. The trees have sap that freezes up in the winter, and then the sap unfreezes, and we tap it right at the bottom of the tree. The sap goes,
xQc,
the whatever,
xQc,
juice, water in the tree, the whatever, into the bucket, and we got maple syrup.
Water. We don't need
Without
anything
Canada,
they
you don't have
have.
that.
We don't need their dairy products. We have more than they have. We don't need anything. So why are we losing $200 billion a year and more to protect Canada? And I said that to, as I called him, Governor Trudeau. I said, listen, what would happen if we didn't subsidize you, if we didn't, because we give them a lot of money. We help them. As an example, we're buying icebreakers, and Canada wants to join us in the buying of icebreakers. I said, we don't really want to have a partner in the buying of icebreakers. We don't need a partner. But
Hey, let's be honest. If America pushes into Canada, they don't have the equipment, the gear, the experience of snow firefight, of the battle of ice, in the cold ice. Just the same way back in the days when the Germans pushed up into Russia, or whatever, right? And then the Battle of Stalingrad or whatever. They weren't equipped for a push that far. They didn't have the equipment. Boom! Massive loss because they didn't have the gear. They had the skill to do the. They didn't plan to push for that long into the ice. Canada, we fight in the ice and the snow.
No right. Nope. No right. Here's what we have. We have a right not to help them with their financial difficulties because we owe $36 trillion too. We're going to start knocking it out pretty fast, but we're going to be able to do it because of energy and other things. But no right. No right. But why are we supporting a country, $200 billion plus a year, our military?
Okay, then we stop helping Alaska. Then block the trade routes. Do nothing, right? Because Alaska is in Canada, is it not? Is it not melted into Canada at the top? Did I not say? Right? No more help then.
Is at their disposal.
Block the boats.
All of these other things, they should be a state. That's why I told Trudeau when he came down. I said, what would happen if we didn't do it? He said Canada would dissolve. Canada wouldn't be able to function if we didn't take their 20% of our car market. They send us hundreds of thousands of cars. They make a lot of money with that. They send us a lot of other things that we don't need. We don't need their cars, and we don't need the other products. We don't need their milk. We got a lot of milk. We got a lot of everything, and we don't need any of it. So I said to him, well, why are we doing it? He said, I don't really know. He was unable to answer the question, but I can answer it. We're doing it because of habit, and we're doing it because we like our neighbors, and we've been good neighbors, but we can't do it forever, and it's a tremendous amount of money. And why should we have a $200 billion deficit and add on to that many, many other things that we give them in terms of subsidy? And I said, that's okay to have if you're a state. But if you're another country, we don't want to have it. We're not going to have it with European Union either. European Union, we have a trade deficit of $350 billion. They don't take our cars. They don't take our farm product. They don't take anything. And so we're not going to have it with.
What the fuck did Canada do? Canada's been chilling out, man. What the fuck?
The day after Justin Trudeau announced his and Glenn in Justin Trudeau's final.
What am I watching the news, man? I'm brain rotted.